Everybody, and welcome to this college hoops preview here on SportsEdge.com. I'm Kels Dayton. This is Matt Buynak, our college hoops contributor, and we're going to be talking about Quinnipiac and UConn this year, two teams that are going to have very interesting seasons, two teams in new conferences this year, and we're going to start off with the Huskies in the AAC. Interesting year for them. A lot of new foes that they're going to see. No more Syracuse, no more Pittsburgh, no more Georgetown. It's almost enough to make a man cry. Almost going to come into tears. I told myself I wasn't going to cry, but no more going to New York for the Big East tournament. It's really going to be disappointing, but what do you think the Huskies can do this year? Do you think they have a better chance in this conference against weaker competition?
Of course they do. When you look at the AAC, it's a sad conference. It's a mixture of Conference USA teams, which is a mid-major conference, and then when the Big East broke up, AAC took pretty much the bottom of the barrel Big East teams. And then you have Rutgers, Louisville, and UConn, who are kind of your better Big East teams that went to the AAC.
Right, and I think Louisville, obviously, the big team for UConn this year to compete with defending national champs. What do you think about them, possibly being a threat to UConn this year?
I think UConn will win the AAC, but it's going to come down to UConn and Louisville in head-to-head play.
That's a big prediction here from Matt Buynak. He thinks UConn will win the AAC. Why?
UConn is bringing back their top 4 scorers from last year. Shabazz Napier is going to be the leader of this team. He's a senior now. He had 17 points per game last year. Ryan Boatwright is back. He's a junior. He had 15 points per game last year. DeAndre Daniels is back for his senior season. He had 12 points per game. And Omar Calhoun was a freshman last year. He's going to be a sophomore now. He had 11 points per game last year. So they have some scoring talent coming back.
That's a lot of points per game coming back. But Louisville, how many players do they have coming back?
Out of their top 4 scorers, they have 1 coming back. Russ Smith, their top scorer from last year, 19 points per game. Their second, third, and fourth scorers, gone.
Going to be interesting to see the fact. I think Luke Hancock could be a guy who could contribute for them this year. Of course, he was Final Four most outstanding player last year. And of course, they have the National JUCO Player of the Year and Chris Jones coming up to replace Peyton Siva. So that could be an interesting matchup. UConn-Louisville, I think, obviously the marquee matchup in the AAC. But you think another team, though, could be a dark horse?
I think that it's really going to come down to Louisville versus UConn. Louisville should beat everybody else. Most of the other teams in the conference. So should UConn, but I'm going to watch out for Memphis.
Got to watch out for Memphis.
Memphis, over the past 4 seasons, they've averaged 27 wins per season. Now that's against Conference USA talent, mid-major talent, so how good are they really? But when you look at the AAC, how much different is that from Conference USA? Sadly,
not that much different, and I think you're right. I think Memphis will be another team to be reckoned with. A lot of guys, a lot of big-time recruits with Josh Pastner, and it's going to be interesting to see if he can win some games, win that league, maybe with UConn and Louisville in there. We look at Quinnipiac now. You look on the other side of things with Quinnipiac heading into a better conference, going into the MAC. Of course, they have some guys coming back. Do you think Quinnipiac can compete in this new MAC, maybe for a MAC championship?
I don't think that they can compete for a championship this season, but I think they're going to be okay this season. They're bringing back their top 4 scorers as well, Ike Azatam, Osman Drame, Zayed Hurst, and Evan Conti. These guys, they played together. They're all coming back together, so we should see some more chemistry out of all of them.
Right.
But winning the conference, that's big in your first year.
That is big. I think only one team has done it. When you look at Colorado winning the Pac-12 championship a few years ago, I'm just dropping the knowledge on you right now. But I think, yeah, you're right. I think it's going to be very interesting to see if Quinnipiac can compete. As you said, one of the notes that you had, they're not as big as some of the other teams.
No, they're pretty undersized. Multiple teams in the MAC have 9 guys that are 6'5" or taller. Quinnipiac has 4 guys on the roster that are 6'5" or taller.
That could be a big factor. And, of course, Quinnipiac was a big-time rebounding team for years under Tom Moore. That's something that they've really done well with. So that could be something that maybe this year, obviously with the size difference, not going to do as well. Going to be interesting to see this year in college basketball with those two teams. Prediction for Quinnipiac?
They were picked to finish 7th in the MAC preseason coaches poll. I think they're a little bit better than that. I have them 5th.
You have them 5th. And who do you have ahead of them?
I like Manhattan, Iona, Marist.
Canisius
was up there too.
Another quality team in that conference. I think you're right. I think it's going to be tough for them to win the conference this year, but I do think you know, you got to look at the fact that they do have some guys that could be right away impact players when you look at Drame and Azatam, who was named, I think it was College Sports Madness named him as a first-team All-MAC player.
I'm just worried about their adjustment, though. They're going to be coming in, they haven't seen these teams before. They're going to have to do a lot of film study. They don't know what to expect.
Excellent point. And the other teams are not going to have to do as much film study, obviously. Fairfield has already played Manhattan. They already know what to expect there. Could be, I think, though, possibly an advantage for Quinnipiac, because you're looking at teams coming in not knowing what they do well. They're going to have to scout extra hard.
But they're going to have more time to do film prep, because they're just going to have to prep for Quinnipiac and Monmouth. Monmouth and Quinnipiac, they're going to have to prep for everybody else.
That's the kind of analysis you only get here on SportsEdge.com. For Matt Buynak, I'm Kels Dayton. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.